and welcome to the third Community of the Resurrection sponsored bike ride. The video which we're going to show you is of a ride which aims to raise money towards the new buildings we urgently need to help us to cope better with all the people who come to the community in ever increasing numbers. People come looking. There is a sense that we are all looking for a well to drink from in life. So the theme of the bike ride is going to the source. In daily life, to the source of what it is to be full human beings. And in a church which is so busy and anxious, there is the need to come and drink at the deep sources of the Christian faith, something we're not very good at the moment. The ride takes us from the source of the River Swale, following the Swale until it joins the Ure, and then the Ure joins the Ouse, and the Ouse pours into the Humber. So we cycle along the Humber to the Humber Bridge, and having collected some water from the source of the River Swale in a little plastic bottle, our hope is to be able to pour it from the Humber Bridge back into the waters that it was taken from, having helped a little bit of the water on its way. There are 6 of us on the bike ride: myself, Brother George, Brother Jacob from the community, and then Andrew Davis, our fundraiser, and David Adamson, a student from our college, and then Beth and Beth, 2 girls from the local grammar school who were so keen on joining us that Beth, number 1, came along notwithstanding the fact that she'd just broken her collarbone. She was assured that it would be all right, so after a bit of scratching of our chins, we just pressed on. The River Swale starts at the confluence of the Birkside Beck and the Whitsuntide Beck, and so we see this Y-shaped watercourse. Brother Philip has just gone down there to collect some swale water in a bottle. I'm Brother George, and
I'm Beth. I'm Beth too.
I'm David.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Jacob.
We've just collected a bottle of water from the River Swale. Here is Beth holding it proudly for us, and we are going to take it all the way to the mouth of the Humber. Off we go. Swaledale is full of very distinctive little stone barns which are very sturdily built, and this piece of flat land is littered with them, each one serving a little neighbour. Here we are at Marske, a little way west of Richmond. Rather weary and rather grateful for this little church which has got chocolate bars on sale inside. But the church is very unusual. It looks like a medieval church, but it was built in the 17th century. And clearly what they wanted was something that looked old and familiar. The reassurance of the familiar. Inside it's wonderful. Look at that. Never seen anything like that. 17th century. Lovely box pews. And at the back, a very nice gallery with an organ. The font was made in 1663. We want a nice old village church. That's what they wanted. But we can never reproduce things as they were. We do it in our own way. Travelling through stupendous countryside, following the River Swale. Uh-oh, this is the stuff of bike rides. Andrew's bike sprung a puncture which proved to be irreparable, so we had to call a taxi to take him to a bike shop in the nearby town and then to bring him back. Sunset over a field as we approach Ripon at 9 o'clock in the evening. We'd set off at 9:30 in the morning and miscalculated the miles, which we thought were 48, but in fact they were 60 to Ripon from the source of the Swale. 25 to 10, and here's Ripon Cathedral in the dusk. We enjoyed generous hospitality from Canon Paul Greenwell. Well, 3 of us did, and the other 3 enjoyed the generous hospitality of the Ship Inn. The next day, thank goodness, was sunny. Because we stuck to by-roads and cycle tracks and other funny sorts of tracks, there was a constant need to consult the maps. A footbridge over the River Eure. By 1 o'clock we were famished, but this pub was far too expensive, so we just settled for a drink. 2 hours later, in the middle of nowhere, a restaurant in railway carriages run by a nice Greek family. So we settled down to sandwiches in a first-class carriage. We cycled right through the city of York, following the River Ouse. Part of it had to be walked through a busy shopping street through a bit of bad planning. Well, here we are on day 3. We haven't managed to do any videos in between for one reason and another. Beautiful day yesterday, but today, Monday, pouring with rain, and we're just sheltering under a bridge for a minute. Hello, girls.
Hello.
Yes, still happy, yes. We stopped off at Howden Minster to dry out a bit and admire the church. This looked a shortcut on the map, but it turned out to be a road of lumpy, uneven grass. By 5 o'clock we were 10 miles from the Humber Bridge, but the weather was so atrocious that we thought it wise at that time of day to call a halt, and we telephoned Adele, who was waiting in Hull with a car, to come and collect us, together with Andy and his van for the bikes. So I was planted by the main road as a kind of signpost. The beautiful Humber Bridge. At its base, we got back on our bikes. The rain is so heavy, we had to be picked up 10 miles from here. But here we are now, on the Humber Bridge, and we're going to the middle. We have done 134 miles in 3 days. A big thank you to David and Andrew and Beth and Jacob for being so tough and persevering. From the bridge we went to a restaurant to dry out and have a slap-up meal. After that, 4 of the group went back to Murfield, while Brother Jacob and I stayed on to go in the morning to the Centermere Academy in Hull to talk with a couple of classes about life in religious communities. From the hidden source of the Swale to the mighty Humber. The psalmist says, "You give them drink from the river of your delights, for with you is the well of life." In order to be strong and to live life to the full, we need to drink at the well of life. And that means God and the life of prayer.